So I'd like to begin with you, Awolo, because as an environmentalist, I think you have a bird's eye view of what exactly is happening. So for our global audience, please tell us, what exactly is Galamsey and what does it have to do with the environment?
Well, Galamsey, we are using to say illegal mining. But if you look at the genesis of the word, when we had Galamsey in the beginning, it wasn't using heavy machinery. It was called come and gather. So maybe the miners have mined and what's left over, they'll come with hand tools and come and gather and sell. So that was Galamsey. So using the word Galamsey now, which is on a great scale, on an unprecedented scale, destroying our landscape, poisoning our water bodies. And the Ghana water does not remove the mercury from the water. So right now when we are drinking water, we could be drinking water with mercury.
Yes. So earlier when we started the program, I said that in 6 short years, the country could be importing water, which sounds like such an incredible phenomenon. But what's the situation presently? What's the state of your water bodies?
The state is terrible. I mean, you can see.
In Ghana, thousands of Chinese miners are involved in an illegal gold rush that's stripping the country of a precious resource. It's destroying farmland and wrecking livelihoods.
They have destroyed my future now.
It's devastating the environment. A toxic mix of money and weapons is leading to resentment and violence.
And
the government admits the problem is out of control.
The scale is so vast, it is difficult to actually quantify.
Across Africa, China is striking deals to secure access to raw materials vital to its economic growth. China's government has given Ghana a $3 billion loan to develop its infrastructure. More than 10,000 Chinese immigrants are arriving here every year. Off the record, a senior officer said that the area had been swamped by illegal Chinese miners, and he didn't have the resources to stop them. Only Ghanaians can get licenses for small-scale gold mining. Foreigners can provide equipment and services, but just 75 Chinese people have legal permission to do so, according to government figures from August. Ghana's Chamber of Mines says that thousands of Chinese people work in mining.
This area used to be covered in trees, and now, as far as the eye can see, they've been cut down. These huge pits have been dug out, and they're filled with water. Good evening.
Outside the house, they washed the black sand they'd gathered to get rid of any remaining soil. The witch doctor gave them some mercury to extract gold from the sand. Mercury is highly toxic and can cause lifelong disability. There's no known safe level of exposure. Akwesi burnt off the mercury to leave behind the gold. The witch doctor gave him 4 cedis, about £1.40. I'd heard there were plans for a crackdown on illegal mining, involving the military, police and immigration officers. I went to see the army officer leading it, Brigadier General Daniel Michio.
Can you describe the scale of illegal mining in Ghana?
The scale is so vast, it is difficult to actually quantify. You just have to go out into all the regions where we have minerals just to get to see the scale. So it's really on a very huge scale.
How successful have the operations you've carried out so far been?
They've been quite successful. I wouldn't say fully successful. Most of the operations that we've conducted, if you get back into the areas, you see that after we had finished the operations, unless we sustain them, they go back into the areas.
He told me that this year they'd ensure that illegal miners couldn't return. I asked if the authorities really had the capacity to do that.
It is a daunting task, but we have the capacity. By the end of the year, we want to see all illegal mining in rivers, in forest reserves, down to 0.
Is that an achievable goal?
It is an achievable goal.
The authorities are remarkably frank about the scale of this problem, and it's clear that they are taking steps to stop it. But it seems to me that even if they meet their own targets of stopping all illegal mining on rivers and in forest reserves by the end of 2013, they'll still have only dealt with a tiny part of the overall problem. There was one more thing I wanted to find out. What happens to all of the gold produced in small-scale mines? The answer was surprising. Much of it appears to be bought by the state's own gold trading body, the Precious Minerals Marketing Company, or one of its 750 licensed agents. It openly states that it buys gold from small-scale mines, but claims it operates within the law and only buys from Ghanaians. However, our evidence suggests that many of these mines are operating illegally. The PMMC declined to explain what checks it carries out.
Their future, and your children's.
Today, all water bodies are polluted. They are gone. They are in poor state, and cocoa farmers cannot rely on these water bodies.
The Minister for Land and Natural Resources does not fully grasp the severity of illegal mining activities on water bodies and human life as a whole.
The youth need to rise up and make sure that the right of them is being protected. God bless our homeland Ghana.
Before, we could fetch water from this river, but now we can't use it at all. Many people have fallen ill, with cases of stroke and other diseases becoming common. The river that was once beautiful is now ruined. I want to appeal to the authorities to intervene and stop the illegal mining activities that are polluting the water.
All residents of Jema are up and ready to walk the talk in taking their fight against Galamsey to the next level. They are launching an environmental stewardship day and inaugurating the Jema Anti-Galamsey Advocates, JAGA, to firm up the fight.
Jema! No Galamsey! Jema Bulkudu! No Galamsey!
A rallying call for the young and old.
We are completely against mining here.
We are not against mining. We need, I always say that as long as I use iPhone, I fly in the plane, it's all mineral. But we want responsible and sustainable mining. Galamsey is not responsible. Community mining is not responsible. The community mining, the government has prepared the manual. Ask them, let them come and then show me where any of the community mining, where they are put in place. In the manual, say checkpoints before you start the community mining.
Let's run you through a summary of the demands made to government so far. First, declaration of a state of emergency, abrogation of concessions overlapping river buffers, abrogation of entry permits allowing access to globally significant biodiversity areas, repeal of the law allowing mining in forest reserves. Presidential candidates should publicly declare their total support for this crisis response. And we also have a response from government as well through the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources. It says that government regional security councils mandated to intensify enforcement actions, and Minerals Commission should ramp up establishment of community mining schemes. So that's the response from government.
Let's take a listen to what happened in Parliament yesterday. When we get back, we'll be talking more. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Sit down and listen. And I'm very happy when the minority leader challenged us that we will debate this matter and the culprit will be mentioned. In fact, we are ready to debate now. If we are to look and investigate both sides of the house, you have had the opportunity to rule this country before. I can tell you, you polluted the water more than us. You polluted the water more than us. So let's get matters straight.
Speaker, this is as a result of Galamsey. And he is the Minister for Defense. The President of State is President Nana Addo Akufo-Addo. So if the President has failed, he should admit so. And if he has failed as a Minister for Defense in tackling Galamsey, he should admit so. It is wrong for him to cast insinuations and aspersions and creating impressions that somebody is making political statement. The executive power of state is with the President. And you are the Minister for Defense. If you can tell us that you cannot deploy the military to stop Galamsey, but you can deploy the military to stop the exportation of maize, and so we should clap for you. Mr. Speaker, the issues we are talking about, they are serious issues. Our livelihood is threatened.
Who are those participating in the Galamsey? If we take census, some of you will be there.
Up a 5-member ad hoc ministerial committee to engage stakeholders over Galamsey. Information Minister Fatimata Abubakar, in a statement on Friday, September 13, named the National Security Minister Albert Kandapa as the chairman of the committee. Other members of the committee are Minister for Lands and Natural Resources Samuel Abujinapo, Minister for Defense Dominic Nitiwu, Minister for Employment, Labour Relations and Pensions Ignatius Bafuiwa, and the Minister for Information Fatimata Abubakar. But the Member of Parliament for Asin Central, Kennedy Japon, says that is not the solution.
Let me state it categorically. NDC, NPP, politicians, they are all involved. If they want to solve Galamsey issue, both of them come together, we can solve Galamsey issue. The politicians are involved.
The Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, Samuel Abujinapo, revealed this week that the government has directed regional ministers, regional security councils, RECSEC, to intensify enforcement actions to contain illegal small-scale mining.
Well, staying a while longer on this issue, Awula Sewa is the founder and coordinator of Eco-Conscious Citizens and has joined us via Zoom. Good evening, Madam, and thank you for your time on News 360.
Good evening. Thank you for raising awareness about the canker.
Well, first of all, this 5-member ad hoc ministerial committee that was put together by the President to engage stakeholders on illegal mining, do you believe this is what we need right now?
Of course not. Of course not. What we need is action to be taken. You know, I don't know what planet we are on. We face an existential threat. I've been saying it over and over and over again. This is not the time for conversations. We've had enough dialogue. We've had enough conversations. 2 years ago, I was invited to one of these dialogues. What have we achieved? So many organizations have come together and have told you what to do. They are organizations that cannot be taken for granted. You have the Catholic Bishops' Conference. You have the Christian Council. You have Media Coalition Against Galamsey. You have UTAC. You have Organized Labor. You have the GMA. What are you waiting for to take action? We have told you, declare a state of emergency and remove all illegal miners from our forest reserves and our water bodies. Revoke perverse LI 2462, which allows for mining in forest reserves, including globally significant biodiversity areas, facilitating ecocide. There's ongoing ecocide. Poisoning of water bodies is a war crime, and we are doing it to ourselves. For heaven's sake, the time for talking is over. We have talked and talked and talked since 2017 when the president put his presidency on the line. The situation has gone from bad to worse. What on earth are we waiting for? We can see the situation: kidney disease, rise in maternal death, stillborn babies, deformed babies. What are we waiting for to take action?
So last week when I spoke to you, you demanded action. You said that we weren't angry enough. Did you get that anger today?
Well, I think that we are getting there. I think we are getting there. A good question was asked. It has taken us just too long. But we always say better late than never. So I have a sense of us gradually realizing that if we don't take action yesterday, we are all doomed. I keep on sounding like a sports record when I say we face an existential threat. So it's good that we've come to this stage where we are asking for immediate action.
One pump action gun is 40,000 Ghana cedis. So who buys pump action guns and give to these people who are able to face the police and the soldiers? They can face them because they have been empowered by people in authority. They have eaten their cake and they are still looking for it. Wicked leaders will be judged. Now Ghana Medical Association is telling the Republic of Ghana that stop every act, whether it's Galamsey or small scale mine, whatever, stop it immediately. Because now we are having children with 2 heads, children with only 3 fingers. If it comes more, 17 fingers. We are having birth deformations from the chemicals of this menace. And we have a president of this country. We have a cabinet of this country. We have a parliament of this country who looks on irresponsibly. You know, at least we have a chief in this country who is trying. Can these 2 people? You are Galamsey. Your Majesty, you're saying to the second. At least you are trying. That trying should be the leadership of this nation. Look at the way the church is quiet about this menace. This menace. Your members are going to be dying of kidney failures and leukemia and all kinds of cancers from this. This Galamsey, show me pictures, please. This Galamsey thing is not going to be a joke. I mean, when are we going to fix this? Now, do you see America doing this? Do you see even South Africa, who does a lot of mining? I have been to many mining sites in South Africa. You will clap. Greedy people.
Many men shall die because of the greedy of another man. Nations, many men shall die because of the greedy of another man. The nation, many men shall die because of the greedy of another man. Worldwide, think about the future children.
Let's start with President Akufo-Addo's pledge to tackle the problem when he took office in 2017.
Will swear to uphold its sovereignty. That is that the care of the nation, what's in it, its people, its resources, its nature have been put in your care. Temporarily. As a trustee, like none of them are trustees of the lands on which they occupy for their people. So you are too at the national level a trustee of the lands and the resources of our nation. So you ask yourself, how best can you discharge this trust? You sit back and say, well, all these young men don't have anything to do, so let it go on. At least it's better that they're earning something than they should be at home and perhaps causing other kinds of problems. When you know that the activities that they're involved in are jeopardizing the very survival of our nation, I took the decision that that would be a betrayal of the trust that the Ghanaian people put in me on the 7th of January this year. And as a result, we established this committee within the government to design a policy for us, not just to stop it, to reclaim the land, to let our rivers work again, but also to see how we can figure a way for all these able-bodied young men who are involved in this activity to find an alternative livelihood. So it's a package. It's a package that we have designed to try and bring this menace to a conclusion. I've said it in the cabinet, and perhaps it's the first time I'll be saying it in public. I am prepared to put my presidency on the line on this matter. I've heard it being said that I should be careful Many of these people voted for me, and if I continue this exercise, perhaps they will not vote for me again. If by the grace of God I'm in a position, my party allows me to go again, and I have the health and everything to go again, but I'll not get it again. And I say to myself, well, this is a choice that all of us have to make as human beings. You do what you think is right, or do you do what you think will allow you to get along? I think that you do what you think is right. That is what you're required to do.